Hello, welcome to another coffee break with Pam. Today, I will answer one question. In general, I answer three questions. And the question actually came from Brennan Parrott. And let me talk to you a little bit about how I met Brennan and what this question is all about in 60 seconds. Okay. Brennan was searching like sales enablement type of videos on YouTube because he started a new job as a new sales enablement manager on January 4th. So, congratulations, Brennan. And he was not looking for like one or two kind of like a short video. He was actually looking for kind of in depth and sales enablement how to videos. And somehow he stumbled to my YouTube channels after several videos, and he set up a call with me, and we end up having a great conversation last week. And he asked me one specific question: what can he do to be a successful sales enablement manager? Basically, how can he nail his new job, right? What an excellent question. And that's what I want to talk about today: how to nail your first 90 days. And that's what I told him. I say, I know you have a list of things that you want to do, which is great, but categorize that list into your first 90 days, because your first 90 days will be super critical, and everybody's watching what you do and how you are going to tackle the challenges and also your new job. So I broke it down, my answer, into first 30 days, second 30 days, and also the last 30 days. So let's take it from there. Okay. By the way, if you like this video, please subscribe below. If you have any questions, please comment as well. Love, love, love to hear your questions. And I told him first things first. Number one things that you need to do on any new job is be open-minded. Make an effort not to have any preconceived notion of how things work in a new company. Okay, this is very important. Don't judge. That's hard for an Asian lady like me. I judge all the time. So be very open-minded and just listen and learn. That's what you need to do. Listen and learn. I have no opinion about it. Just trying to understand who is doing what and how things are done. Okay, so that's the number one thing is your mentality. Be very open-minded about it. And then the objective of the first 30 days is to understand the lay of land, right? And how do you do that? Talk to as many people as possible and then introduce yourself, right? Tell people, hey, I'm Brennan. I'm starting a new job. I'm a new sales enablement manager, right? And also try to learn from the others. Talk to them. Talk to as many as people as possible. If you are sales enablement job, you probably should talk to as many salespeople as possible. Also talk to the product team, the marketing functions, and even the sales ops, and any other people that from your perspective that you probably will work directly and indirectly, right? So number one thing, set up one-on-one with as many people as possible. And of course, given that your stakeholders are salespeople, so interview as many salespeople as possible as well. Understand their needs, their challenges, and their desires. And talk to high performers. There are many salespeople that you need to support, but they are high performers. They constantly hit sales quota. Talk to them, find out how they close deals, have them walk through in terms of their deal winning success, right? So know what they do very well can actually help you to plan in terms of how you're going to better support them and build rapport with them. So talk to as many people as possible, and especially the salespeople. Another thing I suggested Brennan do is understand what content is used by sales at this time, right? And to review the content list, especially the most views, most downloads, and most current content, either by products, by industry verticals, by personas, or by purchase funnels. I know many companies don't categorize the content in, by persona, by verticals, by the purchase funnel. But you reviewing the content, you should somehow put the different content, especially popular content, in different categories. And that will help you to determine what content can be used, or you can make suggestions to the salespeople. Another thing I think is very important to understand in the first 30 days, in addition to talk to a salespeople, talk to other people you may work with, is to understand the sales organization structure, the sales methodology, and the processes. Like, for example, the sales organization, they might be structured, say, by territories, or they probably structured by a different verticals. So understanding how the sales organization is structured can actually help you to determine how you're going to create content to support them. Does that make sense? So if they are done by territory, so you probably will do your content by territory. But if they are a structure by different industries, then you probably can look into the content by different industry to actually help them out. So that's the first 30 days to understand lay of land and talk to as many people as possible, and also introduce yourself, right? The second month, what you need to do, you need to start showing up on some regular calls, right? You know, there are some calls you probably need to attend, find out what they are, and also have some level of understanding on who's tools and processes. So let me talk about that a little bit more. Number one is, can you sit on sales call? A lot of time the sales team have weekly huddle meetings. Can you just attend initially? And also they started talking about their challenges. They start talking about their account game plans. Then you can start connecting the dots, trying to understand what you can do to support them. Okay. Attending sales call, from my perspective, is super, super important. If you are a marketer supporting sales, need to be part of the team. Another thing I think is important, and on second 30 days, is review the sales dashboards. And it really depends. Many sales organization has very simple sales dashboard. Some have very complex, and they measure a lot of metrics. And but in general, is, are we meeting a sales target? Okay, that's number one. The second thing is, do we have enough opportunities in the pipeline? And the third is, what is the closure rate of a sales, right? What are some of the important dashboards that salespeople are reviewing? Make sure you understand that. Learn as much possible about losing sales as well as winning sales, like the lost deals and the deal ones. Try to understand what are the reasons behind it for the lost deals and also the winning deals. So review the dashboard. And the other one is, in the second month, after talking to many people and after understanding who is who and what kind of process that your company follows, you probably can start identifying and see some of the gaps. So know what are some of the gaps that will impede you to do your job. Trying to write those down and see what you can do to address it, either with your direct managers or with other people who is working on some of the processes. Does that make sense? So identify the gap and then see what they are, and identify what can you do, especially the gaps that will impact you doing your job. What can you do to remove that? So another thing I think is very important is to learn the existing processes and platform. Don't make any changes in the first 90 days. And just try to learn, even though the process can be cumbersome and the manual, trying to understand what that is, trying to follow the process, make the changes later or make the recommendation later, but try to learn the process. Learn existing processes and tools is actually very critical, very important. You should know how to use CRM tool, right? Understand how they pull the dashboard. Understand how they track the metrics. Understand how the sales use the CRM to send out maybe the customized email, for example, right? So know your CRM tools and also understand not just how you're going to use it and how salespeople using it as well. So that's pretty much on the second month. You start showing up on some of the regular calls and also have a solid understanding who's who. And you also can use the tools and process that's currently established. So that's the second month. The last 30 days, not the last, the third 30 days, which is, the third month, and you should have a preliminary plan on what you will do. Okay. And because you only been there for less than 90 days, you are not going to have a comprehensive plan. You won't. Okay. So, but you should have a preliminary plan on what are the things that you're going to focus on based on the information you gather up to now. Does that make sense? And the reality of that I want to share with you is once you have that preliminary plan, you will notice within the next 3 to 6 months after the 90 days, your plan is going to change because you have additional information you gather. You need to be agile and nimble. I want to make sure everybody understand agile and nimble doesn't mean lack of focus. That means your job will still be chaotic from time to time, but that doesn't mean that you have no focus. All right. There are things what you still need to do, right? If you say your objectives pretty nicely. So that just means like the priorities probably needs to be shifted. Does that make sense? So when you have a preliminary plan, just bear in mind that will change and you need to be nimble and there are some focuses that needs to be shifted. But that doesn't mean that, oh my God, you gather more information, your preliminary plan needs to be thrown away, need to create a new one. Okay. In general, what I have seen working with a different marketing manager, especially a new marketing manager that just come to the job or a new sales enablement manager, they kind of know what they need to do. They have a sense of it and your gut tells you that and stick to it. Okay. Like for example, we need to provide a better content to salespeople. Okay. That's universal across multiple industries and company. And the approach is how are you going to make that happen? But the objective or the direction kind of stay the same. Does that make sense? So build your initial plan. That's number one. Second thing is get buy-in actually from your direct manager and also the sales team, right? Because you are enabling sales. So whatever you do, the recipient is the sales team. So you need to make sure that you communicate with them in terms of what you will do and what you will deliver and when. Okay. So make sure they understand that and they say, okay, yeah, sure. This looks good. Right? I'm looking forward to working with you, Brennan. Right? So get buy-in super, super critical. And then once you have your initial plan, once you start attending the regular huddle meetings, and now it's just the implementation and modification. So now it's a phase that you need to deliver something and focus on some low-hanging fruit. If there's actually low-hanging fruit from your perspective, you can get it done in a very short period of time. And then that will have a certain kind of impact and benefit that salespeople can see. That will be great, right? In the third month, you should also build your own routine. That means you have your weekly schedule. There are certain things that you will do on Monday. There are certain things you will do on Tuesday and Thursday, right? So your weekly schedule will start to crystallize. There are regular meetings you will need to attend. There are some people you will meet on a regular basis. So try to build that routine. I'm not saying that it's 100% down, but you should be able to get it to a 50% in terms of there are regular meeting you go to and there are regular people that you meet with, right? Lastly is tracking results. Now you have a plan, which is great. Based on your plan and implementation, you will start noticing what works and what doesn't work. So monitor your progress and the performance and also provide update. It's very important to quantify your contribution to some extent. It's even better that you can map some of your success metrics to existing sales processes and also sales metrics. I know it's probably not possible initially, but try to think from that perspective. How can you map your success to the existing dashboard? So that's the third month. Have a preliminary plan on what you will do and then modify it based on the new information you're gonna get, and then be agile and nimble, and then take it from there. So that was my conversation with Brennan, and we had a great time. And I'm very, very impressed that Brennan actually spent his holiday doing research and tried to get himself prep up for his new job. And I'm also very grateful, Brennan, that you found my YouTube channel. And here are some key takeaways for the first 90 days, regardless if you are a new sales enablement managers or a new marketing manager. I think the following pointers apply to all the new jobs that you are taking on. Always try to know who is who and who is doing what in your first 90 days, right? Understand, learn the tools and the platforms of your new companies. Get to know as many people as possible. That's number 3. Number 4, ask questions, and ask questions. Number 5, asking for help. It's okay to ask for help. Even though you come in as a very senior person, you can still ask for help, including ask for budget. Don't be shy for asking money to do your job. All right. Brennan, it was wonderful talking to you. And thank you for asking that excellent question. And it gives me an idea to do this live video. Well, I wish you best of luck. And anybody, if you have any things you would like to add in terms of what Brennan or any new business professionals that is taking on a new job, what are the additional comments and also thoughts that you think they should do for their first 90 days? Comment below and subscribe. Love to hear from you. Take care. Bye.